MindsCreed. We're here.
Pushing themselves. Like he talks about this concept called like the 40%. Like no matter what, like when you feel you've reached like a level where you're almost gonna give up, like there's always that 40% extra energy you can tap into.
Yeah.
And like that's what they were teaching them, just to push through into that 40%.
Was it a certain like individual talking about it?
Yeah, it was a certain individual. I could probably search it up later and send you the video. At the moment, I don't remember his name.
Goggins.
Gawkins.
Yeah, is that him? Something like that.
I have no idea.
Some next
It could
level
be.
guy.
Could be.
Next level.
It's a good idea, isn't it? Because like sometimes people will give up too early.
Yeah. I hear that. I remember a quote from Muhammad Ali, and he said like you know when he's doing push-ups or something like that. Yeah, he only starts counting once it starts hurting, innit? That's the one.
The greatest.
I was thinking that to myself, like, you know when you go for a jog and you press the button on the app, so it sort of like tracks your progress.
Alright, yeah.
I was thinking to myself the other day, I should just press it, once I start hurting and start getting a stitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like you'll be running. You don't have to like stop running.
No, I don't
Like, change
stop.
your focus.
I don't even stop. I just take it out my pocket, alright? I just go on like that.
Wait, yeah, you started running like a lot now, ain't it?
Yeah, surprised myself.
Yeah, man.
It's gone to the strict routine lately.
Wait, you've been doing it for a while now?
Not that long, maybe like a week or something. But every day. And if I miss a day, this may be like me bitching now, but my knee has just been really painful. And I looked it up and it's called like jogger's knee or something like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like when you run too much without resting.
Yeah, I got it in my left knee now. My right knee just...
You sound like an old man, like...
I know.
Complaining about arthritis, isn't it? I got it in my right knee.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, shit, this reminds me of a funny story. You know, like me... This was in Birmingham. Like me and some of my friends here went clubbing. And this girl came up to us here. Well, we went to dance, but she was dancing, we were all dancing. And she started talking. She's like, I've got arthritis. Like, she's swinging her body left and right like no one has ever seen. I was like, what the hell? You don't have arthritis. Because it's supposed to be painful, isn't it? Like, you can't move your...
What age was she? Paint a picture like, for us.
Oh, this was like, what, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
So... probably like 19, 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she just comes up to you like twerking around and stuff and then just randomly says, I've got arthritis.
Not even twerking. I mean, twerking, I'm like, okay. I believe it, yeah. But she was like flinging her body everywhere.
Yeah. What a pickup line, innit? Yo.
Imagine.
Talk about playing the victim, like the symphony at the symphony. What's that symphony? Oh, I'm losing words lately. I'm tired. That's what I bring it down to. I'm tired. See, what's that?
What are you trying to
say? Symphony. Not music. Symphony.
Sympathy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Playing that act. That's funny though. The other day I couldn't say enemy.
Who knows, man?
But I can say it now. Is that thing about Steve? What's his name? I'm about to say Steve Jobs. Stephen Hawking.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. man. The human race takes an L for that, man. And we all take an L.
Oh, he did. Is he really dead? Was it some fake news? I ain't looked into it.
Of course, I mean, well, like some rumors say he willed himself all the way to Cuba, and now he's talking to Tupac and shit. But he's dead. We can only wish, man.
You know, I'm about to search up some of his quotes now and pick a good one for the pod. Wait, what's his name again?
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen. Stephen. Wait, did you see his movie, The Theory of Everything? Or that movie about him?
No, have you?
Nah, not really. I heard it's good though.
I was looking through my, having a bit of a clearance and that, and I did see one book of his I might read. A friend gave it to me when I was living in the hostel. I was going to chuck it out, but I just thought, actually, I'll try to read this. Like that. So how's gym life starting again? How's it feel there?
How's what?
Gym.
It's like gym's a weird place. It's like what? You know what? I miss the place because I used to go gym before, and I had a whole routine. Like gym was actually part of my my weekly routine. I didn't go like every day because you have to rest your body, you know. But yeah, even now I wanna like sort of keep it consistent. Maybe like 3 days a week or something. Yeah, because it's not like I have to spend a whole lot of time in the gym. Just like an hour or an hour and a half.
Yeah. I don't feel like you need to spend a lot of time in there as well.
No. Some people live in the gym and you know all these people looking in there, trying to be swaggy.
Yeah. Just observing, just an observation. But like, how much time does a man like spend in the mirror taking pictures and uploading onto social media saying how he's like working out? How much time of that is in the gym compared to actual working out?
Well, you know, you gotta show the summer body, innit? You know, advertise to the ladies, man, like, yo, the body is coming soon. You know, winter's coming, but no, summer's coming this time. Shit.
Alright, Stephen Hawking's quote: "The greatest enemy of knowledge is not ignorance, but the illusion of knowledge."
Yeah, that's the one I posted on our MindsCreed, the MindsCreed page.
What page is that?
What do you think of that? That's
What where did you post it?
Huh? I posted it on the MindsCreed page. Wait, was it on the MindsCreed page? Either there or on my Instagram page. But yeah, that quote is mad, man. Because most people think like, you know, knowing something is, it's sort of like saying there's a difference between knowledge and ignorance, isn't it?
Bro, I can't. I'd lie. I'd be lying if I told you I knew exactly what he's on about with that quote.
No, not knowledge and ignorance. I mean it's like knowing facts, like a lot of information, versus actually understanding those pieces of information and knowing how to use them. I feel like that's where at least that's the impression I get from it.
So, knowing which information to discard.
Yeah, because you can't have everything. you can't take in everything. Even your brain itself, it filters out a lot of information.
Definitely. It filters out.
So you therefore.
Go on. What would you say?
Yeah, so you therefore have to like filter out most things because you can't take everything in it. Especially now, since like we're being bombarded with like a lot of information from everywhere, the internet and just everywhere, man.
Yeah, well, I was listening to a lecture on influence today, and the doctor or whatever, whoever the lecturer was, he was saying like how we do get bombarded with different like influences day to day, and he was taking a guess. He like does some study saying like up to 400 times a day, but in this day and age, it's a hell of a lot more than that. If you're on like, you know, the laptop and you have all these advertisement pop-ups and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
There's so much. We're constantly being influenced.
Yeah, they're all begging for attention, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sad in a way, that is. For begging. Right, the greatest enemy of knowledge is not ignorance, but the illusion of ignorance.
Wait, the illusion of ignorance? The illusion of knowledge?
The illusion of knowledge. The greatest enemy of... But isn't the illusion of knowledge ignorant within itself?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
You answered that like it was some Who Wants to Be a Millionaire survey question or something. Like it was the final millionaire question, and you said, okay, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? That was funny.
Like, it's only because like I don't know, I think it's the internet connection here. It just buzzed.
Yeah, what's with that? Like, how come your uni doesn't have good internet?
It's just, I think it's just the way where my room is in this building. That is, but yeah, go on. What were you gonna say?
The greatest enemy of knowledge is not ignorance; it is the illusion of knowledge. But isn't the illusion of knowledge ignorance within itself? Or is that just what he's trying to say?
Yeah, I feel like he's trying to say that. So for example, like we could use this example, like say we're talking about a certain subject. It could be any subject about
men going their own way.
What's that?
Men
okay, sure, yeah. Men going their own way. Innit? I could like pretend to know, like, okay, yeah. Well, obviously they're going their own way because of this, like, you know, there's feminists. These feminists are always on their back and, you know, always on their ass, telling them, oh yeah, why don't you do this, do that? We expect this from you, or whatever, innit? But then I'm just making an argument out of nothing, or out of like some facts that I know, like a little bit of facts that I know, without taking into consideration like the larger picture. So not actually knowing the main arguments to it, like what's the purpose of the feminist movement, what are the things that are actually driving, like what are the structural, like the systematic structure, you know, whatever that is. Like say for example the court laws, in it, like the legal court laws, like, you know, like most of them are against men in terms of divorce proceedings. You know what I mean?
Yes.
At least that's one way to look at it. But instead of just, so it's like knowing, I think it's like pretending like you know something without fully understanding it. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Oh.
I think about it.
Yeah. And it's worse than ignorance, because at least when you're ignorant, you don't know, innit? At least you don't know. Yeah.
Instead of pretending that you know.
Yo, that's some next level shit, that is. So what would you call that then?
don't know, you know. I don't know. Like we can speculate. Do you think maybe it comes from like an insecurity?
Fear. Yeah? From fear.
Yeah.
From lack of understanding. Insecurity. Judgment. So, is the source of judgment insecurity? The root of it?
It's a source of judgment.
No, the root, not source. Is the root of judgment. Would the root of judgment be... Yeah, the cause.
So you become insecure about, say, your height because you're judging yourself. Why is you judging yourself in relation to other people?
No, you may be judging taller people because you're insecure about your own height. So then, because they're indifferent to you, you want to be them and they want to be us sort of mentality. They want to be... as if I just like quoted Drake. That sounds some of his lyrics. Fuck me.
Repeat that.
What's that tune again? How's it go? Because they want to be there, because we want to be them and they want to be us. And I can't even remember it. It's a good tune though.
Yeah. Of course, man. The prophet has wise words to say.
I don't even care if he writes some lyrics or not. Whoever's writing them, there's some sages.
Yeah. But yeah, it's also like to add on to what you were saying, like it's like we have this desire to want what we don't have. And if we see it in other people, we see it as more valuable because it's something that we don't have and they have. So like maybe if we have what they have, we'll feel more accepting of ourselves.
Yeah, but what do they have that we don't have? What could that be?
It could be something we admire about them, you know? It doesn't have to be something negative. And not that it's always negative, because it's just like, it's a comparison that you're making, innit? So maybe someone's earning more money, you're like, oh shit, like, you become envious of them. That's when it takes like a really a bad turn.
Yeah.
Because instead of drawing inspiration from that, like, oh shit, that guy has money because he did this, and that. You know, that's very inspiring. I also want to be in the same position or similar position that he has. So I'm going to sort of model what he did maybe, or just use that as a way to motivate yourself.
Of course, man. That's the one. That's that growth. But, you know, if you took away the material aspects of it, of what the person would be envy of, then what do you think it is that they believe is their indifference to the other man? You know what I've noticed? When I say things, I make them sound so complicated when it could be so simple. What I'm trying to say is we both have a mind. We all have a mind. It's the consciousness. People are just working on their consciousness and their mind, and that's how they're gaining these things in this material world. So, unless you don't have a mind, you're dead, innit? The only perfect person is a dead one. No one's perfect. But as long as you're still here and you've still got that mind, you still got that consciousness, you can still be in that place where you believe they are. But right now, isn't it present? I guess.
Yeah.
Alright.
So,
yeah, go on. What are you going to say?
Well, what else was it? Now, I thought, did we answer that question about whether insecurities come from you judging yourself? I think maybe it's also like there could be links to like like, I don't want to say trauma, but like maybe mini traumas, like small traumas.
Yes.
That sort of built up.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. I don't want to say there's a right or wrong way to do it, but I don't believe that our memory was created for us to dwell on the traumas of the past. This is just my theory, my opinion, yeah. The memory is created for us to learn from the mistakes and move on and actually grow from them. Learn from our own mistakes, but if we're smart enough to learn from other man's mistakes also without having to go through that experience. But when I feel like we live in these lower vibrations, yeah, and we still dwell on the past mistakes. Let's say I'm a woman now, and my mum had a traumatic experience with plenty of men, and her dad was a so-called bad man as well. So then that made my mum become a more feministic sort of individual. So then that rubbed off on me as well, being her daughter, and because I wanted to seduce in a way, going into Freud sort of theories. I played the role as my mother would like in order for me to be her friend and that stuff. But when we judge ourselves like that, we then demoralize ourselves and our own being, because then we try to categorize ourselves, and when we categorize ourselves and put us into these in-group biases, sort of so-called connections, we lower our self-worth in a sense.
Because like we're not allowing our, and I don't think there's like before we're talking about we have multiple identities, yeah. So like say for example like what you were saying, like the mother held this strong belief because of something that happened, and it being passed on to you as her daughter. That happens. And then say in situations that come up, so like let's say you've grown up now and you find yourself like regressing into these habits, like because you still want to please mom, like you said, like you want to please the authoritarian figure that was in your life.
The tribe,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, the tribe, the loyalty. You want to keep that loyalty towards the tribe, even if that tribe encourages division, separation, and destruction.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on though. I interrupt you.
Yeah, and it's and it's like, so it's like we move between these identities. Like our past trauma sometimes makes us, like there's this idea of like our psyche having like 3 ego states. So like the authoritarian ego state, that's like the law of the land, not just of the land, but of everything. Like, you know, you must obey the law. Like this is where the rules are kept, like the rules of society. So yeah, like the views that your parents, who are like authoritarian figures in your life, that they have and pass on to you. So then you think, oh yeah, all men are trash, or something like that, because she had that experience. And then that's gonna affect your experience as well. So you find yourself in situations where you take on that role, or that role comes out of you. And in other situations, so the other 2 ego states, the childish ego state, which is like, you know, the id. So it wants something, like it wants something now, and it's like it's sort of impulsive, and it's sort of like, you know, like it's childish. It wants to be. It doesn't want responsibility, and that's what like the middle ego state is like. And you can think of this as like, say, the the state that governs two of them, the two things. So it takes what's good from the authoritarian aspect of it, and also from the child aspect of it. Like Peter Pan is stuck in the basically in the child aspect thing because he doesn't want to grow up.
Yeah.
He wants to stay young forever. Wants to stay a kid as a kid.
Yeah.
And the authoritarian one is it can be too rigid sometimes, and these are like society's ideas that are ingrained in you through your upbringing, through your experiences, like your middle self. That's the part that tries to keep everything in order. Like it tries to take responsibilities for its actions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in a way I see it as like the observer.
Yeah.
If you imagine it as a stick, on one side of the stick there can be religion, the other side there can be atheism, in the center there can be the observer of the both.
Yeah. And this is why like I think meditation could really help a lot of people out there, because it allows you to step back into like a place of objectivity. Sorry. It allows you to step back and sort of observe what's going on. Like it allows you to watch your ego and your identities and how like these reactive behaviors work and operate. Because like your ego will keep trying to drag you either into the authoritarian state, like no, this is how it has to be.
Yeah. Like
this is the law, and that's very rigid as well. And also, it can also try to pull you back into the childish states as well, like trying to make you regress as a defense mechanism. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think when you're able to like identify when you're putting yourself into either the victim or like the persecutor, or I think that's when you can become more aware of how you're reacting and how you're how you're expressing yourself.
I feel like there's no wrong or right though, and you have to make it yourself. Maybe you need to experience the both ends of the stick to then find the balance between. We all have our own but like, come on, you must admit, if we was talking about or listening to this sort of stuff back in the day when we was in school, I would have no idea what's going on or what they're talking about or anything like that. I'd just be like,
of course.
I'd just be like, Gucci gang, just chatting shit, innit? Life's funny like that.
Kids, man. Just running in the corridor and shit.
Life is really funny like that.
Like, it's good to see like how you can like when you understand these ideas now, you can see how like, oh yeah, I wasn't ready to understand them then, but now I can actually understand them and act on them as well.
Yeah, I know. It's such a beautiful thing, like life, like when it's really lived, like just in growth, you know, you're trying to like, it's hard to explain, but it's really nice to see like the progress.
The progress, yeah.
I'm just working daily on that.
Sorry, I was just thinking of this, another quote as well. Something about a life lived. Life lived. Yeah, a life lived in fear is a life half lived. You know what I mean? Because like change can be scary sometimes.
Yeah. I don't feel like we're necessarily brought into a society that encourages change like that. A lot of people are scared of it.
I think society can change that, eh?
How do you think society can change that?
Like, how do we empower people to accept change?
We start with ourselves. Our own home, not a Peterson sort of thing. I mean, our when I say home, I mean our body, our mind. The individual, start with the self first, and then we can then encourage other people to start with their own selves. So it's not like a what is it called again? What was Stalin?
What was Stalin?
Yeah, what was it when like they tell you how to live or something like that, or what to do and stuff like that.
When people tell you what to do.
Yeah, but like kind of on a Hitler and Stalin sort of scale, a dictator. Yeah.
A dictator.
Yeah, not like a dictator though. It can't go like that. It's because like then that's just creating more ignorance and more like branches that lead to destruction rather than growth, because we need to just keep thinking for ourselves more, but enabling and helping other men and women to think for themselves also.
Alright, so not like shoving it down their throat. Like
no, that's not gonna work.
Forcing it, no. But yeah, like
it won't work like that.
If someone's not ready to change, then no matter what you do, they're not going to change.
You just gotta have unconditional love and patience, and it just like you was talking about the different personality types. That authority figure is that dictator figure, and we've already seen what happens when people go down that route. It's not pretty. It doesn't work. For sure.
True. Yeah. And something like that, is like speaking of dictators, like maybe when you were young, someone was like, and you were being loud, and someone was like, "Shut the fuck up." Like maybe that hit something inside you, and then from then on, you started like sort of repressing your voice, like sort of like closing down a little and not being able to express yourself like that. And that's all because someone told you it was wrong.
Yeah.
So like, let's not be loud because Papa used to say loud boys are bad boys or something like that.
And so
it's another form of regression. Yeah.
Form of what?
Regression. So going back to that ego state, that childish ego state.
Yes, but it gets suppressed to the extent where it turns into a mountain within. It turns into a volcano.
Yeah.
Have we had any women dictators?
Any winning dictators?
Yeah.
What do you mean winning? You said winning?
Yeah, to the extent of like Mao and Genghis Khan and all them sort of guys. Have we had any women ones?
Not really.
I don't think.
I don't know. Like, not that I've heard of.
Anyone listening though, if you do know, like, let us know in the comments.
You think there might have been some? I've heard of like some. There were like kings and queens. Queens out there.
Yeah.
So not all of them were good. I'm sure some of them were bad.
Yeah, kings and queens, like about that, we know about that, but I'm on about like mass destruction scale, like from just a female, like.
Yeah, history doesn't have many examples of those, right? It's usually just guys because, hierarchies and all. Men have been in positions of power way more than women. So it's like rare to hear about a woman dictator.
And do you think because like the culture sort of tells men that he has to be masculine all the time and he's not allowed to talk about his problems because that's a sign of weakness and all that sort of stuff, and so does that lead to these men eventually like exploding like a volcano from keeping all that suppressed sort of things inside? It could be like Who knows?
Yeah, like I don't know if it's the same for our generation, but I think like for the previous generation, like men were sort of like, you know, you had to be like, to be a man. I think we've talked about this, but like to be a man, you have to be like, you know, a macho man. You know, expressing emotions is a woman's thing. You know, you can't do that. Like you're supposed to be masculine. You know, air quotes, masculine. And not like express your feminine side, your emotions, like even like being happy, like the emotion of being happy.
Yeah.
Like in some countries, like maybe, you know, like the Russia type area around there, and like, you know, like who said this? I don't know. I think I was listening to a podcast and the guy was like, because he's from like Russia, and like like whenever he would like express that kind of positive, feminine expressive emotion, like happiness or joy or whatever, like his father would be like, what the fuck are you so happy about, man? You know what I mean? So it's like it's just like that. But yeah, like our previous generation or the previous generation, that's how it was, you know. If you were afraid as a man, like that's not really manly. You're supposed to be brave and, you know, face your emotions.
It's really interesting. It's really
sorry,
interesting.
but yeah, sorry to cut you off again. Just like that when you, so for example, an emotion like anger, for example, right? Like if you repress anger, that's gonna, like, it's gonna come out sooner or later, isn't it? Hence the volcano. And a really cool way I read about how to sort of channel that energy into something that's like something that's a source of energy. So I think it's a counseling skill or something. But I know the book. I remember the book. The book is called Magician, Warrior, Lover. You heard that book?
No.
King, Magician, Warrior, Lover. But yeah, it's a great book. You should check it out, guys. Yeah, so like they talk about like visualizing the emotion that you're feeling. So like sort of visualizing it into like a physical thing. So say for example, anger, for example, you can visualize it as like this huge flame of fire, and you can sort of, and then like to like imagine you putting that into a form of like generator, and then making it a source of something to fuel like your goal, like your motivation towards your goals, like using that anger to like to I don't know, like to go hard in the gym, to read more, to find out more. So like just finding a way to express it that's less destructive. But of course people are different, innit? Like some people would rather actually like punch something in order to release that emotion. You know what I mean? Like say you're frustrated and you just want to go to the gym and hit the punching bag. And that's a way for them to like release. So it's like finding a way to release the emotion or express it in a way that's not like it's not like you know what I mean? Like expressing it in a way that's that where like you are in control instead of you losing yourself to the emotion.
That's what it's about, really, isn't it? Observing it and not oppressing it, but controlling it in a way. I feel like there's a difference. A few years ago, I was listening to a Tony Robbins book. I can't remember which one it was called, but he was speaking about his own psychoanalyst. He's like his own personal doctor, and she's meant to be like a really good one. And she was talking about something very similar to that, when you feel these angers or you're dwelling over something that's happened in the past, and you can see the theatre, the memory inside your imagination playing the roles of it. But she was telling him to like change it up. So say like for the angry one, you could imagine it as an entity, say like a human, an angry sort of man, and or an angry version of yourself, and then put a funny version of yourself inside the frame with it, and then start painting on the angry person. Pin them down, yeah. Start tickling them. Paint a clown face on the angry version of yourself on yourself, mate. And just I'm trying my best not to make it like too complicated, but just to make yourself laugh, and then you shift your whole like energy.
Yeah, that reminds me of the scene in Harry Potter. Remember when they were like, I think it was like, you know, I don't know why I brought this up.
Yeah, I think I know you're on about.
But yeah,
ridiculous.
Like, you know that class where like they bring out this wardrobe.
Ridiculous.
And whatever's in the wardrobe.
Yeah.
Like your fears come out in it.
Yeah.
And then he told him to like turn them into something they find funny.
J.K. Rowling is a genius. How she incorporated that in there, because I'm just saying maybe that's what she took it from. That sort of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the name of the spell as well. That makes me a bit of a nerd, innit? It's called Ridiculous. But that's easy to remember. Ridiculous. Right, I'm gonna throw out another Drake quote. Live without pretending. Love without depending. Listen without defending. Speak without offending.
Speak without offending. The prophet has spoken.
Wait, said it as well. Alright, any last words?
Any last words?
Yeah.
You said?
Yeah. Sound like a threat.
Any last words?
Innit?
You said that like a villain, you're like about to kill someone.
Innit? That's funny.
Any last word, Mr. Bond? For Queen and the country. That's what you would say. Any last words? Okay, I want to say people out there who are feeling like they can't really, who feel like slaves to their emotions, you should meditate. And find a way to sort of draw awareness to that. I think meditation is one of the ways. I think it's one of the best ways. But you know, people can come to that awareness in different ways. For me, what worked was meditation, because of the sort of the separation it allows you to have with your thoughts, like you're not your thoughts or your emotions. Maybe the person experiencing them, but they're not part of you. But at the same time, they are part of you, which brings in like a level of control. Like even though they're not part of you, there's a level of control that you have over them, so that they don't control you.
Yeah. Right.
Also exercise. Trust me.
Alright.
Wait, are we closing? Shall we give them the WINS model?
The what?
Remember the one I sent you? The WIN. W.I.N.S.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, it's how not to take a L. All right. In life, you know. So focus on the W.I.N.S. W as in workout. So you know, exercise. Take care of your body. I as in image. You know. You're not homeless, so why would you dress like a homeless person? You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like that's one thing I don't get. Like the ripped jeans thing. Like I don't get it. Like what happened? How come your jeans are ripped by the knees? Like have you been, you know, doing activities of? Let's move on. Let's
move on. Let's move on.
Image. Number N, right? One N. N is nutrition, man. Nutrition helps your body, it helps your mind, helps you focus, you know. Enough with the junk food. I'm cutting out junk food from my life again. Not that I was eating junk food before, anyways, but it's not really good for you. And sugar is the enemy. Stay away from sugar, man.
Trust me.
Sugar's not good for you.
Natural sugar, obviously, that's alright, but.
What's that?
Natural sugars, that's alright, but not this, like. Alright, let's go. We'll move on. S. What's S?
Yeah. S is not for sugar, but it's sweet. It's bittersweet. It's shut the fuck up.
Oh!
So,
My emotions.
This means stop complaining.
My ego.
Instead of complaining about something, just do something about it. Like, there's, some people find it cathartic to complain about something, but, if you're just gonna complain and not do anything, there's no point.
Be humble. Just sit down.
Do something about it, man.
Well, good night.
Jobs like. Oh shit.
You got and one more thing. Got any questions you want us to give advice on? Just email us at MindsCreed
at gmail.com.
Yeah, that's it, innit?
Yeah.
Alright, peace.
Peace.